Hello, and you're listening to FPcast, the official podcast for Fruitless Pursuits, where we bullshit about the week in pop culture. I'm Luke.
And I'm Jacinta.
And this week we're talking about...
Movies, television, collectibles, video games, comics, books, board games, and more.
Slow movie week.
Downton Abbey. Look.
You know, it's a slow movie week when our main thing we're going to talk about is a TV show from 6 years ago.
Can we just be upfront here? It's a long weekend because of what? Anzac Day?
Anzac Day, yes.
Something like that. And there haven't been any big movies this week. We are going to review some smaller movies that we've caught after the fact. But there's not a lot of news either. And what better thing to do on a long weekend than sit around and watch Downton Abbey, which I'm a newcomer to. I was late to Breaking Bad. I'm late to Downton Abbey. It's all I want to talk about because I just finished season 2 and my mind is just racing with all the intricacies of which fork to use.
Your little shipper's heart is going crazy.
Oh my goodness. So we'll definitely talk about that, but we're going to do you a great service, my lord, by leaving it to the end of the episode.
Oh god, I love Downton Abbey. Yes, but we were going to go and see The Huntsman, but there's sort of like not much we can say, I think. I feel like if we go and see The Huntsman, all we're going to say is, it was okay. And how does that benefit you, listener? It doesn't. You can read that on the internet.
You're going to go, no shit, I wasn't going to see it anyway. So that's something we can catch later on. And look, if you're worried, okay, is this a slump? No, because on Wednesday we're seeing Civil War.
Sure are.
Which is amazing. We're going to get to go and see that a day early. We're very excited about that. It's about a week and a day early, even more, I think, from when America gets to see it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll probably do a spoiler-free review of that next week.
Yes.
And then we'll probably end up doing a Patreon episode, which is a full episode about it.
We'll do that.
Spoiler cast.
Yeah, we'll do that in a couple of weeks.
After the Americans have got it.
Yes, because last time when we did the Age of Ultron one, and we thought we'd covered everything, and then it came out in the US, and everyone found issues with it, which we weren't able to then address, so...
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to say, you were wrong, as much as we can. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. But a little bit of news that we can talk about, just some kind of bits and pieces. J.J. Abrams, he came out and said that Rey's parents were not in The Force Awakens in an attempt to sort of quell certain speculation, because Daisy had been a bit ruffled by it recently, keeps getting asked questions about it. There was the speculation that maybe Jyn Erso of Rogue One was her mother. And she was like, oh, look, just because we're British and we're pale and we have dark hair and we're women doesn't mean she's my mother. Come on. So, and then JJ said, look, let me say the parents are not in there. Now, do we believe him?
No. No one fucking believes him. And we have good reason not to believe him. Because J.J. Abrams, as the director of Star Trek, told us that Benedict Cumberbatch was not Khan.
He was Khan.
He was Khan.
Khan, mate, he was Khan. You can't.
Yeah, so JJ's a big old liar.
He's a liar.
We shouldn't believe anything that he says.
I believe as well that perhaps he has been inhabited by the spirit of Obi-Wan Kenobi, who liked to twist the truth in interesting ways. You know, he'd be like, oh, it's true from a certain point of view. I think the key here is all in one letter, and that letter is the letter S. Parents. So I think he can later go, well, I didn't lie. I said the parents weren't in there. There's no mum and dad.
Parent.
I think there's one parent. I still think it's Luke. I think it has to be. If it's just somebody, whoever, where's the legacy?
Yeah, exactly. I've seen so many people going, oh man, I'm kind of, I'm glad about it because why does Rey have to be related to anybody? I'm like, because that's the whole point of Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
Family and legacy and connection. And if she's not related to anybody, then why? It's
the story of the Skywalkers.
Yeah, I'm still happy if she... some people are saying, well, maybe she's like Obi-Wan's granddaughter or something. That, I'll still cop that, but I still think she's Luke's daughter.
Yeah, I do too. And I think the parent, the other parent, is the mother, who, of course, we haven't seen. That's good
Because she's
detective
probably
work
dead.
there.
She's probably dead. That's why Luke's on an island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Okay. So, if people remember from a previous episode, we talked about the Force Awakens storybook, which has the very different. It's just right there. It has great. Under a pile of Book Was Better books. Thank you very much to people who have sent those recently. I've gotten quite a few. I may as well go straight to the source rather than paraphrase it. This is from what it says from Rey's little dream sequence, and we talked about it before. This is when she touches the lightsaber. Then she heard a voice, both familiar and strange. I'll come back, sweetheart. I promise. Now, we talked about that and said sweetheart's not a very Luke word. It's more of a Han word. But then, of course, because of this horrible patriarchy that we're crushed under every day of our lives,
Yes.
we very wrongly assumed that this was a male voice. And, of course, the book doesn't specify. I'd say it's the mother, which is why it wasn't a voice. Because then they could have put that voice in the film, because this would have been from an original script. And we wouldn't have known who it was. We wouldn't have gone, oh, well, that's just Han, or that's just Luke. We would have gone, who is this woman? And then Maz basically says in the film, that person's maybe not coming back.
Not coming back, yeah.
But another one is, which is Luke. So all the pieces are there. Every time, like, you think JJ's got a set up a 2,000-piece puzzle on your kitchen table, and you think, oh, we're going to have to eat in front of the TV for the next week while we put together this puzzle.
Yes.
Turns out it's about a 12-piece puzzle. And
he's just drawn the lines on
yeah,
for the other
usually,
puzzle pieces.
It's usually pretty simple.
Yeah.
As I believe it was Sherlock Holmes that once said that the most obvious solution, easiest solution is usually the answer. Was that Batman? Someone said that, who was a really good detective. Maybe it was Basil, the Great Mouse Detective. I don't know.
I mean, that's in the title. He's a great mouse detective.
But does that mean he's a great detective or just a great detective
mouse that
for
is a
mouse?
Yeah. I don't know. I imagine mice would be pretty sneaky at finding out things.
Or is he just a great mouse and
happens to be detective.
Average detective?
Well,
we'd have to watch the film again to let's watch it right now.
Okay, goodbye.
And give our thoughts. No, we'll give our thoughts live as we watch it. All right, here's the opening sequence. Oh, there's that Disney castle. Speaking of liars, Michael Keaton. Oh, God, I've got a bone to pick with you, Michael Keaton.
Oh, I'm sure he's very upset.
Yeah. You know, here we report information that we read on other sites.
Yes.
With very good faith.
Yes.
You know, so when we heard that he was going to be in Spider-Man Homecoming as the villain and got excited about him being the Vulture, we wasted a lot of breath.
We did.
And, you know, not only are we wasting our precious breath, you know, listeners are listening. They're listening their precious ear power. And so he makes a monkey out of us. We in turn...
Like, being a monkey's not that bad.
Well, look, I'm a creationist, so... and by extension, we make a monkey...
Out of our listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're the listeners. They put food on our plates via Patreon. We don't eat unless... Yeah. Absolutely.
That is our sole income for the year.
Yeah.
I'm getting very good at living on $10 a month.
Yes. Yes. You got to make it stretch, guy, in this economy.
Yeah.
Anyway, turns out Keaton's like, nah, I don't want to be in Spider-Man. Oh, so why do we talk about it then? If you're not going to be in it.
Fucking Keaton.
So he just buggered off.
Yeah.
Just left it. Left poor old Tom Holland, a.k.a. Peter Parker, a.k.a. the Spectacular Spider-Man,
in his
a.k.a.
little underoos.
the Amazing Spider-Man.
With a little glass of milk.
Left
crying
him-
into his glass of milk.
At the altar. Standing at the altar. Oh, but who's this walking down the aisle? Hello, just when things look grim, Tony Stark.
Damn, rolls up in his, like, fancy car and he's like, hey, Spidey, you want to ride?
Remember-
Spidey's like, yes!
Remember when we kind of thought RDJ was, like, almost done with all this stuff? He's not done, he's in every movie. I guess when you're making that kind of money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, he's probably done with Iron Man movies. He doesn't need to do another Iron Man movie. He just goes like, well, I've got 2 weeks in my schedule here. Do you want me in a movie? And they're like, sure.
Remember that rumour, though, where he said that he would do another Iron Man movie? He would only do Iron Man 4 if Mel Gibson directed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think that's cool.
Interesting.
I know he's a monster and stuff,
Yeah,
but remember, people thought RDJ was a monster. And he had lots of drug and alcohol and all sorts of problems, and he got a second chance, and he's risen like a proverbial phoenix.
Yeah, I think people have different opinions about substance addictions they do about hideous racism. Yeah.
Although, I know, but, you know, he's still, like, can we give him a second chance? Isn't that the Christian way? I did tell you I was a creationist, right?
Yeah.
Turn the other cheek.
Maybe, yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm sure if it's just a rumor, it
was a while ago.
Not going to happen. I
don't
can't see
recall
that
it
happening.
having much traction. Plus, there's so many movies now that he can just pop into them whenever he wants.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the Fonz. Just turn up out of the bathroom and hey, sit on it. That was Travolta in Welcome Back, Kotter.
I love Welcome Back, Kotter. What was his name?
Kotter?
No, that was the teacher's name. It was Horshack and I can't remember John Travolta's
name. No, I'm not going to stop. We're going to get it. It was
Vinnie Barbarino.
Barbarino.
Yes, there we go.
Whew. Worth the wait. All right, so Michael Keaton, liar. J.J. Abrams, liar. Who else is a liar this week? The only other thing was we got to see that little bit of a video of Prince Harry and Prince William hanging out on the Star Wars Episode 8 set.
Which is pretty cool. And they were pretty excited. Like, sometimes you see the royals at functions and stuff, and they just look so bored and so hating their life. But they were pretty, they were excited to see, like, the Chewbacca, and then there was that other little, the alien head, the animatronic that was moving around. They're like, oh my god, look at its mouth, it's talking. I'm like, oh, it's nice to have a little bit of joy in their day.
I was a bit worried about Marae Bay. Around Harry. I thought Harry might try and...
She's already pregnant.
Try and touch her or something.
Oh, by standing next to him, she's already pregnant.
There was that photo of... It looked like Harry hugging Chewbacca. I think Chewbacca was wrestling him away from Rey. Because I think that's Chewbacca's duty now. He's there to sort of watch over her. He's the sidekick. But they did end up... there was a very realistic latex mask made from a computer scan.
Very creepy.
Of Daisy Ridley, which is used for stunts, and she got to kind of watch as members of the royal family
stuck their fist up her head.
Yeah, played around with her face, and I'm sure Harry put in an order for one of them.
I would imagine so, yes.
And I wouldn't mind one myself.
Yeah, I know, because you're a sicko. In other royal news, did you see the pictures of little Prince George meeting the Obamas?
No, I didn't.
No? Oh my god, it's like, I'm not someone who's like particularly a royalist, or I don't like little kids particularly, but this was the fucking cutest thing I've ever seen. He's meeting the Obamas. They're like kneeling down in front of him because he's the fucking future king, obviously. And he's in his jammies. He's got like his little jammies and his little dressing gown on. He's just like, who the fuck are these people? It was so adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
has genuine distaste for his subjects already.
He's like, America, one day I shall crush you.
I shall take you back one day, America.
When the Empire strikes back. That's why they're watching Star Wars. They're getting all these
tips.
Empire ideas. Yeah,
the Queen's basically the Emperor.
I
just
say,
needs a
Mother.
cowl.
Well, how many pounds would it cost to get us a Death Star fully operational? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not indeed? All right, that was the news. There wasn't much. Let's talk about the... there was one trailer that stood out. You talk about this one. I feel you're more invested in this than I am.
Well, I'm only mildly invested because of the cast, but they're remaking The Magnificent Seven, which is in itself a remake of... is it like Seven Swordsman or something? It was like a Japanese film.
Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai, yeah.
Seven...
Sisters for seven brides for seven brothers.
Seven Swans are swimming.
It's obviously they're remaking the Western, and it has a pretty good cast. Chris Pratt is your main guys. Denzel Washington, Vincent D'Onofrio. Matt Bomer's in there, which I don't think he was in the trailer, but that's quite exciting. Vinnie Jones, I'm a bit excited to see in this movie, to see what sort of mangled accent he does.
So who was it? Chris Pratt.
Yes, Denzel.
Okay, so Chris Pratt's playing what, Dopey? Denzel's playing Grumpy?
Yeah. Matt Bomer's playing like Happy?
Bashful?
Bashful, yeah. Actually, no,
okay.
that's a better one, yeah.
Yeah, they were in Magnificent Seven. Who's playing... Is Kirsten Stewart back for this? Kristen Stewart?
We never get that right. Kirsten?
Oh no, it's Kirsten Dunst is the only Kirsten.
Oh, so it's Kristen
Everyone
Stewart.
else is Kristen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I'm interested. Like, I watched the trailer. I didn't exactly have my my socks blown off, but it's I don't mind a resurgence of the Western. It's nice. I like it. We had Slow West and Bone Tomahawk and stuff last year. We got Magnificent Seven now, and just keep rolling them out. Thank you very much.
Very important part of our history. our cowboy history.
Yeah.
The Western. There we go. Yeah, I watched this trailer. Don't really remember anything about it at all. Except Chris Pratt was there and he was being charismatic, maybe?
Yep.
He was smiling.
Yeah. Well, that's
You were
all I
like,
watched it for.
Oh, he sure can smile. And I've seen him in kind of like a little vest before, but I haven't seen him wearing a cowboy hat. So for me,
It's a new element. He's bringing a new element to his performance.
Yeah.
So, he's really stretching himself.
yeah, you're like, oh, what's the thing about this character? Well, this is the one with the cowboy hat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Cool.
All right, shall we talk about some films?
Sure.
We're just racing along because I want to talk about Downton.
Yeah, cool. Yes, awesome. Let's go.
I saw The Witch, finally. Now, I tried to see that a while back, and I didn't get to see it. I couldn't make the press event, unfortunately, due to other commitments, because I'm a very busy man, my lord.
And also, I refused to go.
Yeah, no one would see it with me, because everybody was like, oh, this is scary, based on the trailer. Now, a lot of the scares in it are in the trailer, and it's one of those films where, I got to admit, it didn't blow me away. And there's almost a part of you where you come out of it and you go, okay, was that kind of it? Like I'd built up that there was going to be more.
Okay.
But that said, it kind of lingers with you. And for me, the closest film I can draw a comparison to in terms of the way I felt about it maybe is Under the Skin.
Okay.
Just in the way that Under the Skin you watch and you go, the first time you watch it, it's kind of slow in parts. And you end up going, oh, was that kind of it? Like, I almost expected there was going to be more, or... Then you begin to realise there's some really haunting images in there, and there's some
like
really...
some creepy thing with a goat or something?
Yeah. Well, the goat is really central to the story. Black Peter. No, Black Thomas. Black Thomas, I think.
Oh, okay.
His name is. Yeah. So... But then you... Like, I haven't watched this one again, but I did read about it. I was interested enough to then read more thoughts on it and read people really analysing the story. And I know with Under the Skin, when I kept going back to it, I'd realise that, this, like, everything that's in there is very carefully in there. Everything has meaning and everything's very well crafted and the imagery and everything. And I feel that about The Witch. I think it's a very well-made film, very deliberately paced. The information's very deliberately sort of fed to you, yeah. And it really has some strong imagery and great performances. Yeah, I do recommend it, but I think you've got to temper your expectations to a degree. You know, if you're expecting, this is going to be this thing that's just going to grab me and shake me and scare the shit out of me, it's not going to be that. It's more of a slow burn. They talk in ye olde English quite a bit. Yeah, it almost feels like a play in parts, and some of that can be a bit hard to get hold of. I think it's interesting as someone who has a bad reputation on this podcast for being a bit of a Nazi about the way people talk and the way they say things and everything, is that it's a great example of how fluid language is. It's like, if I'm going, everyone should talk like this is the proper way to say things, and then you go, well, should we all still be talking like that? Aren't we glad that things have loosened up and evolved? And so there you go, there's a little bone I threw everybody.
A little milky bone.
A little milky bone for you guys. So you'll know if it's right for you. But I think I gave it I don't know, maybe like a 3.5, and then maybe upgraded it to a 4 or something.
Okay.
I'd like to watch it again, but I need some space before I do. Yeah. And you watched a couple of films.
I did. Well, a film is a very generous term for both of these. The first one I watched was The Choice, which was one that I was very, very keen to see at the movies earlier in the year, but again, no one would come and see it with me for fairly good reason.
Sounds like we should have done a deal.
It's based on a Nicholas Sparks book. And before you dismiss it, roll your eyes and go, oh my god, Nicholas Sparks, how could you? Last year on my Guilty Pleasures list, I had The Longest Ride, which was one of his adapted movies, which I did actually genuinely quite enjoy. That was quite good. And, I have no problem with Nicholas Sparks movies generally. They're all about good-looking white people, and I like watching the stories of my people.
So what you're saying is you have a lot of white pride.
Oh God, that is not where I was taking that.
Oh, sorry, I thought that's where you're just proud. Okay, sorry. Might have
God.
misinterpreted that.
Anyway, so the choice is about two generic white people. I don't even know the names of the actors. They're just generic, just white people. That's all you need to know. And Nicholas Sparks movies, there's like romance, and then there's some kind of heartbreak, and then there's no different to this, really. The guy is a veterinarian. The girl is a medical student. They fall in love over the fact that her dog has puppies and he has to help her. And
Yes, the choice is about whether to abort them or not.
no, the fucking choice, they telegraph it in the first 60 seconds of the movie, and I'd worked out the whole movie from this first minute. And I went, man, I sure hope there's a twist and that's not how the movie plays out. And it fucking did. And so it was a very unsatisfying movie. And I know you're going to go, wow, Nicholas Sparks, of course it's unsatisfying. It's really not. I've watched others that I've genuinely really enjoyed. I like The Notebook. I like The Longest Ride. And there was another one that was like Dear John or something. It was a Channing Tatum one. That one was quite good too.
I liked The Longest Ride Along.
Ride Along too?
Yeah, The Longest
Kevin
Ride
Hart.
Along too, yeah.
Yeah.
His nerves is bad.
Yeah, this was a shitty movie. This was shit. I think I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd, and there was very little redeeming factor about it. And it pissed me off that this dog had puppies, and there's like a golden retriever, right? And 10 minutes after it has puppies, they're clearly like 3-month-old like Chihuahua cross puppies, and they're like, no, like they're small dogs and they're the same colour as the mum. They're definitely the puppies. They're running around like 10 minutes after they're born.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
I watch a lot of superhero movies, fantasy movies, science fiction movies, so I have a pretty strong suspension of disbelief, but that would take me right out of the film. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, which is meant to take place like 15 years later, both of these large breed dogs are still alive, and I'm like, that wouldn't happen either.
What was the choice?
Look, no one's going to watch this movie, I will tell you. So at the very start of the movie, he's like running into a hospital.
Well, just tell me the start and I'll see if I can guess like you did.
Okay, so he's going into a hospital. He has some flowers. He talks to the doctor and says, oh, look, I'm just going to go in and talk to her. And the doctor goes, well, you know, that's fine, Travis. If you think that'll help you, go and do that. And then that's kind of it. So what do you think the choice might be?
So he's taking flowers because he's
to
interested.
a hospital. So he's going to see someone at the hospital.
Oh, he's going to see his wife, and his wife's on life support, and he has to decide whether to kill his wife and be with the other girl.
Well, there's no other girl. No, his choice is he has to decide whether to turn life support off.
Okay.
That's the whole fucking movie!
And then he ends up tripping over the cord, and his choice is made for it. One of the puppies gnaws the cord.
The puppy's allowed in the hospital.
Naughty puppy!
No, and
but he smuggled in because, like, that's, like, palliative care.
Oh.
Puppies make you happy.
Yeah. She's not awake, though, so she doesn't know. But no, the thing is with, like, Nicholas Sparks movies, like, he'll do something to, like, romance, and then some shitty thing will happen and it'll just wreck you, and you're like, oh, I'm so devastated. So I expected him to make the tough choice, turn her life support off, she dies, oh, it's all very sad. No, she just fucking wakes up.
No.
And it's all happy. And I'm like, this is not what I wanted out of this movie.
I thought you was going to say that he takes her home and puppeteers a weekend at Bernie style.
Just pretends for the children that she's still alive. No, it was a very unsatisfying movie and I didn't enjoy it at all.
He wears a skin like Buffalo Bill. Okay, but it's got to have been better than this other film you've put on the list here.
No, it wasn't. So the other film is Dead 7, which we spoke about a few weeks ago because the trailer came out. It's a sort of zombie western kind of movie. It was written and produced by Nick from Backstreet Boys, sorry. Oh my god. And yeah, it was meant to come out on April the 1st, but I hadn't been able to find any way to watch it anywhere until sort of last week, and I was starting to think that maybe it was a very elaborate April Fool's joke by the internet on me specifically, because other people seem to have seen it. So there's this zombie outbreak, and everyone's kind of reverted back to, for some reason, to like the Wild Wild West. And some people have kind of reverted back to other things that they just think are cool. Like there's a guy who's just a ninja for no particular reason.
Like Daredevil.
Yeah. And there's some chick called Apocalyptica or some shit like that. And she's wanting to just turn everyone into zombies so she can rule the world, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Sounds unsatisfying.
Because once everybody's zombies, then who have you got to talk to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mow my lawn, zombies. Oh, I didn't think this through.
Yeah, it kind of starts off a bit sort of funny, but it does kind of take itself a little bit seriously as it goes along. There are some nice effects and stuff. The effects are a little bit more money than I kind of expected, but ultimately there's not a lot to it, but I got more out of it than most people because it's fun seeing all those people that, you know, maybe you haven't seen for 10 years kind of getting around and killing zombies and all that sort of thing. That was kind of fun.
It's fun seeing people who aren't actors try to act. Sometimes I'll get around someone who's not a plumber and get them to just, you know, whack around the pipes. I like to see shit spray everywhere.
Yeah, not far off that.
Yeah. I tried to watch it.
Yeah.
I started, but I just wasn't even following. I was playing a game at the same time. I wasn't even remotely following it, and I thought I'm not getting anything out of this at all, so I just stopped.
It's still not worth... it's still not the worst Asylum movie I've seen. It was better than... I think there was a Sherlock Holmes one a few years ago that I got about 20 minutes into and then just had to bail out.
Well, that is faint praise, at least.
Better than Sherlock Holmes.
Hey, talking...
It has... you know Olivia Newton-John's daughter, like Chloe Latanza or something like that? She's in it.
Is her father John Travolta? Barbarino?
No.
Is she a Grease baby?
Maybe. So yeah, I think I gave that about 2 stars as well, though I did enjoy it a little bit more than The Choice.
Okay. Well, the perfect segue would be, speaking of shit spraying everywhere, and then you could talk about the game that you played. But I kind of want to talk about that.
Okay.
Because that is a good segue.
Not bad at all.
And then I'm going to go into something... Yeah, okay.
All right.
Look, trust us. We are entertainment DJs. Don't have to follow us like a strict format. I know what we want to talk about. We got some good stuff coming up. You say your thing.
All right. So we're going to skip forward to games a little bit here. And by some sort of weird Christmas miracle, I'm the one that played a game this week.
Whoa.
Never happens. So we went out to dinner on Wednesday night, and you were telling me about a game.
Yes.
That I did not believe existed. So
I saw it on YouTube. I watched someone play it. I haven't played it.
So I had to confirm with Suzanne that this was an actual game because I did not believe you. It turns out there is a game, and it is called There's Poop in My Soup.
Yes.
And surely that has got your interest. Now, what this is it's a little game where you have a little bum-faced little dude up the top of the screen, and you have to direct his little kind of stream of poop using your keyboard, and you get points for pooping on certain things, ticking certain things off in boxes, and the more people you hit with poop, you get multipliers and bonuses and streaks. And it kind of...
And you have special powers.
Yeah, and the music kind of ramps up the more people that you poop on, and so when you miss somebody and the music stops, it feels like such a failure. This is such a crazy game. I was going, surely, I'll play this for 10 minutes, novelty will wear off, and I'll be done with it. But no, it's really fun to shit on babies. Really, really fun.
You can shit on someone's ice cream cone and then they lick it.
They lick it. I haven't managed to do that yet. The timing for that one is quite hard. I've pooped in somebody's soup a couple of times. That was good.
You're a bum-faced man who shoots turds out of his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I was talking to one of my workmates about it, and she was like, damn, I'm going to go home and download it. And she sent me a screenshot of her score, and she'd got this massive score that was about 4 times anything I'd got. And I was like, fuck you. I wish I hadn't introduced you to that.
Was it in, I believe it's in Paris that you can get diarrhea, and then you really can just get 500,000 points.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in New York. I'm still shitting all over New York.
Oh, you haven't even shat in the noodles of Beijing yet?
I have not shat in the noodles of Beijing.
Well, yeah, so it's about
Still
99 cents on Steam.
Yeah, it's quite cheap. I wouldn't have bought it if it was, $5 or $6 game, more than likely.
$79.
So yeah, $79.
Hopefully a full PS4. A virtual reality, that'd be great.
With add-on packs that you can buy with special poop powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely one. If you have kids, this is a game that they're going to get a lot of joy out of. I'm an alleged adult, and I got quite a lot of joy out of it as well.
Well, it's everybody's secret dream of shitting everywhere. So I think that's kind of cool.
Anonymously, nobody looks up and goes, "Hey guys, stop shitting on me." They just run around and slam into trees.
What is that guy's deal? He's got some problems. All right. I just had this thought. I haven't spoken to you about this yet. But we talked about Jungle Book last week?
Yes.
God, it seems like forever ago. But we reviewed Jungle Book, and we talked about that difference in the ending, and we kind of spoiled it, though it's not really a spoiler because it's such a well-known story.
Yeah.
So I don't think this will ruin anyone's enjoyment at all. In fact, it'll get you thinking about it. But as we said last week, it sort of finishes before Mowgli sees the girl. So that girl thing doesn't happen. Instead, it's left with him just being happy in the jungle, still doing what he wants to do, and mucking around and playing and laying on his back and eating bananas and doing whatever. So, what I was disappointed that I didn't think of at the time with the review was we didn't think about that sort of like from a kind of cultural subtexty sort of viewpoint thing. And I think it's interesting because the whole point, like, doesn't it undo the whole point of Rudyard Kipling's story? Like, it's a coming of age story. It's a putting away childish things and becoming a man and doing the fulfilling your manly duties, which I think was probably far more important back then as well. And this idea that you can't fight nature. Like, he's all, I just want to be, like, hanging around with Baloo, doing all this stuff, just being, like, a wacky kid. And then he sees this woman, and he gets a stirring in his little red underoos.
Little kicks, yep.
Yeah. And he starts going, like, wow, I need to be with this woman. So that's the thing that gets him out of that situation. And it's a sort of, it's his nature. He's not a wolf. He's not a bear. He's not a monkey. He has to go and be a man. And the word man is used a lot. It's about being a man. So presumably, like, we assume at the end of that he's going to always have a respect for nature and the world around him, probably more so than other people there. But he's going to be a father and a man, and it's going to be that childish part of his life. He's going to put it behind him. And I just thought it was so interesting that Disney actively fights that, and there's that Arrested Development thing, which is more modern day. Like, they put almost a modern twist on it, and they keep him as a child and not have him fulfill his manly, but let him be selfish and do what he wants. And I thought, like, that's so interesting because that's pretty much Disney's corporate MO, isn't it?
It's like stay a child forever.
Yeah, in a world where they're selling us Star Wars and Marvel and cartoons and all the associated merchandise, and all these adults like ourselves are talking about it and going and seeing it, then they don't have the same survival instincts that Kipling had. Their interest is, let's keep you a child. If you want to have fun and enjoy these things, then we want that. And I thought, I wish I thought about that when we did the review, because I think that's really interesting. I think, and just to be like a bit sort of wanky about this for a second, or some more seconds, that, you know, even though we talk about a lot of what really in the long run are sort of fluffy, trivial films like the superhero stuff and everything, I do think they always reflect the world
at the time.
At the time, yeah. And, like, you just have to follow the Batman from the 60s to now to see that, you know, that same character, but look at the post 9/11 Nolan Batman compared to the 80s, 90s Batman, all that sort of stuff. And even, like, you know, he shifts in the 90s so much with Forever and Batman and Robin, and we're always seeing that change. So I thought that was really interesting. I think, you know, if you're a child listening, you shouldn't be, and you have to write an essay on the Jungle Book, crib some of those ideas and let me know how you got. Because I think you'll get a gold star on that one.
Though, I mean, also, as you did bring up last week, by leaving him kind of hanging a bit, they do have the room for another sequel. And from all reports, it's done incredibly well, so I would imagine that we're definitely going to see a sequel.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like we said then, there's that whole practical thing. But I think when you start to analyse that extra layer, that's always what it is. It's an extra layer. It's that idea of, oh, well, hang on, how does this... Because you don't, when it really conforms to the way people feel about the world at the time, you don't question it. That's why there's so many movies in the past that we look at now and we go,
Ooh.
oh, that's kind of odd. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you don't, it's naturalised. And at the moment, it is naturalised because you go, yeah, well, no, it's fine to leave him like that. There'll be a sequel and everything. That's cool. We're satisfied with that. It's a great movie. You don't come out feeling dissatisfied by the ending. But, for example, I thought that was interesting listening to the director's commentary on Back to the Future, because you've got Zemeckis talking about, and I think Bob Gale or whoever, talking about the ending and saying it's such a consumerist 80s ending, that idea of now he's successful because he's got the car and the girl and this, and saying that now, looking back at it, he finds it a lot more uneasy, like that was the values of the time. So it's not even necessarily always a conscious thing, but I think it's a big shift. Just that one little change is such a big shift from the way that probably Kipling would have thought. There you go. That was our that was my smart bit.
Serious moments.
Yep. Now I want to talk about Downton Abbey.
Oh dear. So this is, we are both very late to this game. I only started watching it about 2 weeks ago or so, and you started watching it like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and you're about halfway caught up to where I am.
Yeah.
Which is actually really surprising. Like, this is a show that I always knew that I would enjoy, but I expected you to watch about 5 episodes and go, yeah, no, I've got this, and then just kind of leave it. But no, you've just finished season 2.
I think a big part of that is that I am doing other things at the same time, and it's a very, very easy show to absorb while you're doing something else. Like, very easy to follow. I think that in that first season, it wasn't doing that thing where I was like, I need to know what happens next. I was just kind of drifting through it, and I was entertained. But I think there's a certain breaking point with a lot of shows that when you've watched them a certain number of episodes, you can keep going. Oh,
You're kind of invested in those characters, and it's not that you want to necessarily find out what's going to happen to them. It's just you kind of end up you like spending time with them.
Yeah, I think that's it. And maybe I'm being unfair as to say that I would do that, because there are quite a few shows actually that I've enjoyed that I just haven't stuck with, that I've just sort of drifted off. Like the last 2 seasons of American Horror Story, I've gotten about anywhere from 3 to 7 episodes in and then just stopped.
Okay.
And Orphan Black I haven't kind of gone back to, and there was that I can't remember what it's called, there was another Netflix one, the Wachowskis produced sci-fi one.
Okay.
About all the different people who were linked or whatever. So there are shows I drift off, but I'm getting more and more invested in this as it goes. I think I'm probably watching it wrong because I find it aspirational. Like,
Okay.
I think it's a really good setup. Like, I kind of wish I had a staff of people that were feeding and clothing and...
Oh, well, of course, yes, that would be very nice. Yeah.
And, like, carrying me around and washing my body and stuff like that. So, I'm definitely team rich people.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much team rich people too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a lot of favourites in the servants' quarters, but it'd be much nicer to be a rich person.
I think it's very clear as well that the women have about as rough a go at it as the women of Game of Thrones. Like, we're talking about something that begins in, what, Titanic?
Yeah, 1912.
12? Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's 1920, I think, we're up to in the end of season 2.
Yes. Yep, they're past the end of World War One.
So, they have a really rough... Like, men can just do whatever they want. And women, on the other hand, really get put through the ringer. And if they have put anything in their ringer, then they're in real trouble.
Yes, yes, which is a lot of trouble for Mary, who apparently has a completely irresistible vagina.
Yeah, well, it's been poked around in, probably only for a couple of minutes, but that is enough.
I can't imagine men of those days would have a lot of stamina.
It's the butterfly wings, that Turkish penis, because it really has just caused a ripple effect throughout all of the episodes
county,
that I've seen. We're talking about 15, 16 hours of Downton, that, a lot of people are very concerned about her rogue quim.
So if you haven't seen it, obviously the setup is that it happens just after the Titanic.
Let's explain Downton Abbey to you.
So just after the Titanic, the heir of this estate has died in the Titanic sinking. Or has he? And that was a really weird tangent storyline. But anyway.
I thought that there was more to it than that, and there really wasn't.
Well, I'm only up to about season 4, and I don't know if that kind of comes back later.
I looked up the actor.
Oh, and he doesn't come back?
That was his only episode.
Oh, damn, that's disappointing.
Yeah. I call him Canadian Bacon Face, so you'll know what I mean if you've seen the show.
And so the heir dies. He was meant to marry Mary, who is the eldest daughter, and they were going to continue Downton Abbey forever and ever. Now Mary's up shit creek because if she doesn't marry somebody, then she gets nothing, basically, because she's a woman.
Yep.
And they need to find the next closest male heir to be able to take over the estate, which is like a third distant cousin called Matthew Crawley, who... it's a sign of the times because they all think he's very middle class because, he's a lawyer and his father was a doctor. Oh, how dirty.
What a jerk.
What a jerk. And yeah, basically everyone's trying to convince Mary that she needs to marry cousin Matthew, and she's like, fuck that, and Matthew's like, fuck that, and yeah, cat and mouse all of the days.
And basically, what I like is when you binge a show, you really become aware of all the tropes and all the, patterns and echoes. And what I found is that 90% of this show is people downstairs offering their resignation because of some perceived slight and then being told that they don't have to resign.
Yeah.
Nearly every character has done that at least 3 times. Mm-hmm. And it's always like... I do have a confession to make, my lord. This morning, when I was in my quarters, I was quite unaware of myself, and I let out a wee fart. Now,
I will be off on the first train in the morning.
As a man of honor, I must hand in my resignation immediately. And he'll be like, what's the butler's name?
Yeah.
I want to say Cranston. No, I'm mixing Branson and
Crawley.
Crawley.
Charlie.
Oh shit.
Oh, it starts with C. Oh god, this is awful. I've been watching nothing but Downton Abbey for 2 weeks. And Carson.
He's like, Carson, are we all fart, really, sir? Do you want to leave? No, sir.
No, of course not, sir.
I should quite like to stay. And well, I'll go downstairs immediately and let's not hear anything else of the matter. Or it'll be like, I'm sorry, sir, but I was in my quarters and I used the wrong fork. Now, my mother had died this morning and I was feeling quite distressed at the time, but still, as a man of honor, I must... And it's like, Carson, really? I mean, what's a fork in the grand scheme of things? Just make sure it doesn't happen again, old boy. And that's pretty much 90% of Downton Abbey.
There is a lot of that, yes, and a lot of... above stairs scandals everywhere, and trying to hide scandals.
Yeah, they're pretty mild scandals, really. Like by our enlightened modern times.
Yes, but back in the day, people would talk.
Oh, they sure would.
Oh, in London,
be in all the papers. So, your team, Matthew, is he your favourite?
I've got 4 favourites.
Okay, well, but who's your favouriteest favourite?
At the moment, it's Branson.
Really?
The chauffeur.
The chauffeur.
Yes, Branson is bae. I am down for Branson.
A bit of the Irish. He drives you crazy.
He sure does.
Well.
But yes, I like Lady Sybil, Cousin Matthew, Thomas, the asshole footman,
Thomas
and Branson.
He's like a cockroach. He would survive a nucler explosion. He's impossible to get rid of.
Like, he's such a prick.
Foul stick. Just unabashedly a total dickbag.
He is. And then, something will happen and he'll kind of show his vulnerable side a little bit. And I'm like, oh, Thomas, everything's okay. And then he just reverts back to being a total fuckface again. I'm like, why did I trust you, Thomas? Yeah.
He's always such a prick. Like, someone would be downstairs going, oh, me family just all got churned up by a combine harvester. And the crows are all picking at their bits. And he'll be like, oh, shut up. Why don't you go and have a cry about it, you big puss?
Yes. Oh, I do love him, though. I think he's quite wonderful.
And their dog's name is Isis.
Yes, it is Isis. And I had heard some... I mean, I'm not up to... As I said, I'm only up to just after the start of season 4, so I don't know what happens beyond that. But I did see some articles, rumours that they were going to kill off the dog because they couldn't have a dog called Isis running around. But I don't know what happens there. She is still alive as to where I'm up to.
And Maggie Smith is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she is not on my favourite character list, only because she's just so default. Like, of course she's favourite. She's brilliant.
I thought you were going to say she was so deformed.
Oh, no, look. She's wonderful and a delight.
Just as you turned up, I was watching it this morning, and Thomas, actually, speaking of that prick, was dancing with her at the servants' ball.
Yes.
And she went, oh, as long as it's a waltz, I won't do any of that horrible foxtrot. And he goes, oh, what about the black bottom, my lady? And she goes, well, just keep me on my feet and we'll try and avoid it. And I thought, classic Maggie.
Classic Dowager.
Dowager, yeah. All right, so who do you think is my favourite lady?
Lady Sybil.
Really?
Yeah, either Lady Sybil or Lady Mary. Like, I don't know whether you like Lady Sybil because she's hot or Lady Mary because she's a bit mean.
Lady Mary is my favourite.
Yeah,
I like Lady Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I was like, I was like, who is this handsome creature? Yeah, and she's got that. She reminds me a little bit of like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, like sort of, that brunette, dark eyes, kind of a deepish voice, and sort of proper, but she's quite warm still.
I think she warms up, but I think as a general rule, it's hard to call Lady Mary warm.
She's very warm to Anna. Like, she does very kind things to the servant. She let a knob in one of the beds.
Yes.
Probably made her wash the sheets afterwards.
I think her closeness to Anna is very closely tied to something that happens early on in the season that Anna helps her with.
I think she's very kind to them. She's looking for like solutions and stuff. I think she's very pragmatic. I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's I think deep down she is quite a mole, but when Edith...
She's not a mole. Edith is a fucking mole.
When Edith stops being a mole to her, they kind of loosen up a little bit.
Edith
but there's an episode...
black sheep shit. I don't know who her father was, but he must have crept in the window.
Because she doesn't look like either of her sisters.
I did say a window because I got the Yorkshire hat, and yeah, I remember because my grandparents, my grandma used to read me from this book of poems, and there was one, I remember the illustration about a pirate that climbs in the window, which I always found very creepy. And she'd be like, there was a pirate climbing in the window.
In season 3, something just hideously awful happens, and she's talking to Edith, and she just says the cuntiest thing to Edith, like you could never imagine. And I was just like, Mary, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Edith had it coming, I'm sure.
In this instance, Edith did not have it coming at all.
I'm Team Mary. I will look.
I'm not Team Edith. Like, nobody's fucking Team Edith.
Close to Messenger when we're watching, because I will be sure to give my updates.
Okay, good. It's actually, yes, I am enjoying your little Downton updates. I hope you don't get too ahead of me too quickly, because then I'll have to wait and catch up. It's funny, like my mum has got into it too, and she's caught up fairly quickly, and I know what episode she's up to by the upset SMSs that she sends me. Because season 3 gets pretty brutal. Like, I put on Facebook that I felt that I just got Game of Thrones by Downton Abbey, and it really did feel like that. There's an episode, obviously in Game of Thrones, the battle with the mountain, that particular episode, and how we'd actually watched that together, and then after that episode finished, I just wasn't quite sure what to do with myself and had to go for a bit of a walk.
So Carson might knock in someone's eyes at some point?
Maybe, but yeah, there's something kind of almost an equivalent that happens in Downton Abbey that just left me walking around the house for 5 minutes.
I say, my lord, what colour would you like the wedding? Red, I think, Carson.
Yeah. Yes.
Make sure that there's plenty of mop buckets around for afterwards, will you?
And lock the doors once we go in.
I just looked at our message history. I said, all the wounded dudes are recovering at Downton under Thomas the Cunt Engine, and all those dudes in bed may prove to be irresistible for Mary's easily led vagina. It's like a pork swords-a-sport. There you go.
Yes.
I shouldn't be too excited about young Mary. I mean, she may have a pretty face, but her Quim looks like it escaped from London Zoo. This was 1920, after all.
It wears its own corset.
You can see it poking out of the bottom of her longest frock. And what about Bates? Like, Bates is just a miserable bugger. Like, he's got everything possibly that could go wrong for Bates. Goes wrong for Bates. And Anna, who's
and Thomas is
far out of his
mechanic
league.
Of most of that.
Yeah, like, she puts up with so much. She's like, oh, sure, Bates. And I'm just thinking, like, what's next? He's going to be like, I'm afraid I shit my pants all the time, and I've done it again, I'm afraid. I've got a rather irritable bowel thing I should have told you about. That's why I had a maid pick up our sheets so quickly after our wedding night. So lots of weird stuff happening there. But definitely enjoying it.
Yeah, the thing that I think makes it kind of quite accessible is that a lot of storylines resolve very quickly.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not
some
afraid to take leaps in time.
Yeah, absolutely. There was, I think in the first season, they take a leap forward about 6 months, and they're talking about they just came back from London and what happened over the season. And I was like, where the fuck did this happen? What's going on?
No, I like that because I think that a lot of programs, particularly as they get into later seasons, spread their ideas so thin because they think we might have to continue to do this. And you've got to give them credit. I was thinking about that because you often see it was created by the same guy at the beginning. You think, that's a lot of drama because they're over an hour episodes. It's a lot of drama to try and force in. Like, I can't, there is that thing we were talking about, Canadian bacon face amnesia kind of thing where you go, this is very soap opera-y, but it's like, you gotta do that. You gotta do babies and deaths and weddings and love, because what else do you...
And I mean, really, if you're looking at the sort of people that this series is pitched to, like, it's...
better people.
It's old people, like, it's old grannies who want to see the weddings and the babies and all the romance and dances and all that sort of shit, so...
And all the frocks.
And all the frocksies.
Yeah.
Shocking Sybil coming out in her pantsuit.
Holy
what
crap.
What a rebel.
Sybil, you dirty strumpet. So, yeah. Wow. Women. I wouldn't give their problems to a monkey on a rock, I tell you. They have a difficult time. And look, bloody Daredevil's in the first episode.
He is. Because I'd watched the first 3, like, ages and ages and ages ago, and I thought I'll pick it up again, and I just picked it up from season episode 4, and then I was watching, there's a little behind the scenes one at the end of season 2, and I watched that, and there's a little clip of him in that, and I'd completely forgotten, and it made me giggle. Little Charlie Cox.
Sir Jorah is season 2.
Sir Jorah.
God, if I had to pick a downstairs person, I kind of didn't mind Edith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She was kind of cute in a sort of slappery way.
Yeah, no, Edith's okay.
And what's her face? Matthews intended.
Oh, Lavinia.
Yeah, she was alright too.
Yeah, she wasn't bad.
She was an alright bird.
She was
kind of in the middle, wasn't she, between those, like, upstairs, downstairs. Like, closer to the top.
Well, she was more at, like, his level, because remember that he is horribly middle class.
That's right.
And they all hate that he's middle class.
What I like about it as well is, I think going into it without watching it is, I feel like all the snobbery is going to happen upstairs. But I love that, like, when Matthew comes in and he's the lawyer and the downstairs staff are like, I'm not going to fucking cook for him. Like,
Yeah.
I'm better than cooking for some lawyer. I'm not, I'm not
Yeah.
serving this shitbag. And you're like, well, hello. Prejudice is everywhere.
Yeah, there's a bit, it's not really spoilery in the bit that I just watched where they have Dame Nellie Melba, so the Australian opera singer, come and sing for them, and they're just like, oh, well, should she eat with the family? They're like, no, she's a fucking Australian singer. She's going to eat in her room. And I'm like, oh, Jesus.
They are very funny about, because that's, I think, early on. The stakes have gotten higher in the second season. I think The Wall will do that. But first season, it really is like, oh, someone's going to wear gloves at the table.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes.
What are we going to do about that?
And the footman's very tall, isn't he? He's unnaturally tall. Yeah.
Look, he's standing in the shade. He's not a darkie, is he?
Oh dear, but yes, no, a far more entertaining series than I thought, and I kind of wish I jumped on 6 years ago when everybody else that I know did.
Yeah. So what we just said classify as news, that Downton Abbey's
something worth watching.
Let me tell you about Breaking Bad.
Now that it just finished last year. Yeah.
Oh, look, but knowing that there's a end point as well makes it kind of exciting for me. I like that about Breaking Bad when I did that last year, was knowing that I could watch the whole thing. I could go in and have an end point and get the whole story, and every time I was like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? I didn't have to wait a week.
Yeah.
I didn't have to wait a year. I just put it on.
Kind of satisfying that they made the choice to finish it, so you know that it's going to be an ending of their own doing.
Yes.
It's not that they just got chopped off, and because my nan was watching it and I think she thought there was only 3 seasons, and she was like, oh, that was a very short program. I was like, Nan, there's like 3 whole more seasons, and she was like, oh my god.
I'm actually hoping that it kind of jumps forward even further, and that by the end we're in the 80s.
Yes.
And they've all just...
They've got massive hair and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all wearing neon and stuff.
Yeah, and Matthew's got like a flock of seagulls haircut.
And the Lord's like, hey, Carson, be a good dude and microwave me a pizza, will you? And he's like... totally radical, sir. And then,
they're all like so scared of electricity, and the dowager's just like, fucking, why do we need this? And everyone's like, because it's the future. And she's just like, fuck the future.
And downstairs, they're ironing Garfield strips to take off. Yeah, I think that would be excellent. And Matthew's on a skateboard, doing some radical moves.
Doing some sick flips.
Yeah. And
Mary's graduated to riding horses astride and not side saddle.
She'll be doing aerobics.
Oh, she will be doing aerobics, yeah.
Pink leg warmers.
Yeah.
Because they haven't aged because of the gypsy curse that I assume happens in
yes.
in season 3.
Yes, yeah. Damn it, you spoiled it.
Okay,
damn
there
that
you go.
gypsy curse.
Because they haven't aged much in the last 8 years.
No, they haven't, to be fair.
And those were tough times.
They were some tough times.
Where if you were 30, you looked 60.
Yeah. So
I think
Dowager Grantham's like 145.
Yeah, well, I think it depends. Your age depends on how far away from the Abbey you go. Obviously, the Abbey has some sort of
like a bubble.
Restorative powers that keeps everybody. That's why Thomas is not leaving, because he wants to keep his youth.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's too beautiful to want to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a very large secret art gallery up the top of the house, which has paintings of all of
each of them,
which are aging rapidly. So
and in the downstairs they have this little secret fountain of youth that they all just dunk their heads in once a day. Yeah.
So yes, that is the secret. Where are my Downton Abbey action figures? That's what I want to know.
Well, I bought some Downton Abbey trading cards the other week when we went to the thing, and they were so shitty, and I was so disappointed. I got 4 cards in a packet, and I was like, you are fucking joking me. I mean, I know it's an expensive kind of, Downton Abbey is for rich people, but it doesn't mean I want to spend $7 on 4 fucking trading cards.
Well, everybody has to make sacrifices in a war.
That's right.
They were rationed.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
They were handed to you on a silver platter.
And all
By
the
a butler.
I looked at all the like the wardrobe cards and stuff because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like a little bit of Matthew's waistcoat or whatever, but it's all the women, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Right. I want to
think
get a bit of...
You can get a bit of Lady Crawley's, I don't know, some dress or something. But yeah, it's like Edith and Mary and Mrs. Patmore and yeah,
Mrs. Patmore, is she the chef?
She's the cook. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it smell of soup?
It probably might. Yeah. Yeah, it's Mrs. Patmore.
I want a bit of Mary's night dress that smells like Turkish delight.
Oh, a nice whiff of roses.
There we go.
Shit. Yeah. So, like, if you haven't seen Downton Abbey and you're listening to us talk, going, "Oh my god, all your favourites are dead," please don't tell us. Even though I'm a bit further than Luke, so
Not for long.
not for long. But
I am insatiable.
yeah, I'm pretty concerned that by season 6 they're gonna fucking just drop a bomb on the house and everyone's gonna die in some fiery, screaming inferno. Because I really wouldn't put it past them. Like, season 3 and 4 is getting a little bit dark.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that. All right. Now, look, I don't know who that was for, what we just
That
did
was
there.
for us.
That was for us,
Yeah, we haven't. We've been slamming
Saving
through
this.
Downton Abbey, and we
Saving
haven't
this.
spoken to each other about it really.
Yeah, so sometimes you just got to spoil yourself, don't you? Because
Yeah,
you just
treat
think,
yourself.
Yeah, we're worth it. So,
Absolutely.
and if any of our Patreon subscribers are Downton fans,
Oh my god, we could do a Downton spoiler cast.
let us know and we will do a Downton.
Maybe we'll just do one anyway.
Spoiler cast.
And if nobody listens to it, fuck 'em, we'll just listen to it ourselves.
Oh, listen to me talk about Downton Abbey.
And Branson's pretty green eyes.
Oh, swoon. All right,
Swoony,
look,
swoon.
if you got this far,
Thank you.
congratulations. That's quite a big achievement. So go
Next
to
week we will be back with something of merit,
Civil
we promise.
War.
Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War. Imagine that. Oh god, I want Civil War.
Then it would actually be civil. Besides, say, chap, let's not.
I don't know. Civil's not like probably the least civil.
Let's not punch each other's perfect teeth in right now. Why don't we sit down and discuss it all over a cup of tea?
And a crumpet.
Mm-hmm.
Here she is, Lady Sybil.
Here's Mary's crumpet. Mary's second-hand crumpet.
Oh dear. Duh. Yeah, so, sorry, I interrupted you doing your spiel.
No. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Go to fruitlesspursuits.com. You can also listen to The Book Was Better. Tomorrow is Tron Legacy with Courtney Coulson, and that's a new low for Disney, changing the ending of a book.
Yeah, even I'm outraged. I had to look at that one, and wow.
Yeah, that's very special what happens there. So look out for that, and of course, yes, Patreon, Facebook, come and discuss things, talk to us, love us, rate, review, do all the stuff.
Yeah, we've got a new Patreon episode that went up the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Dawson's Creek Long Hot Summer, BWB TV.
It's a pretty great episode from what little I remember.
Yeah, we both had a bit to drink, so it's an interesting one.
I think it's quite fun. So, and look, if you've never done the Patreon thing, I'm not trying to put the hard sell, but I was just thinking the other day that...
You can literally pay $5, listen to everything, and then cancel your subscription if you really want to.
yeah, and if you did that, you would get, at the moment, 6 episodes of BWB TV?
Yep.
There's a Were Though a Go-Go episode of Bootmen.
Yes. That
And-
one's pretty good. I like that one.
And there's a Star Wars spoiler cast. There's a Age of Ultron spoiler cast. There's quite a bit of stuff there to have a play around with. So if you really enjoy this for $5, you can get all of that stuff.
And yeah, in a couple of weeks there'll be a Civil War one too.
Yep. And then you can either stay on or quit or leave for a bit and come back. Do whatever you need to do. But,
Yeah, and the other little bonus, even if you are at like a $2 level or a $5 level, you do get FPcast a day early as well.
most of the time, assuming that I get it up and ready.
Oh yeah,
which-
we're recording this on Sunday, so you might not get this one.
Oh no,
early,
I'll
so-
do it. I'll do it while I watch
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go home right now and watch more Downton Abbey so that you don't catch me up. God damn it.
So yeah, thanks so much, and I think that might be everything, my lord.
Yes, we'll see you next week for Team Cap.
May I be dismissed?